Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast.
Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Polk, here with my co-host, Ty Southern.
Hey.
Today we have with us BT Urruela. Did I do that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's move.
That's the most exciting part of the podcast for me every fucking show.
Dude, you had the Olympics a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
We had a guest who needed him to do like lines like that. I was formerly this, and that, 28-year that. I'm like, dude, what? He's sitting there taking notes.
Why didn't I think of that? I should have done a 20-minute preamble.
I remember because I was the videos. I'm sitting there like, and then he nails it.
Dude, it's funny because from the hip, I'm usually good, but if I have to plan to say something, like if I had a teleprompter, I'm fucked. Like if you tell me I need you to say these words in this order, I'm fucked 100% of the time.
I forget how to read immediately.
Yeah, dude. Let me talk. I feel like that's Trump, dude. I feel like if you give him a teleprompter, he would stink.
Mm. Yeah, say it if you say it.
Burgundy.
Yeah. Exactamundo.
Wow, there's a lot of people here. I walked in, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people.
It's the pleats.
Maybe the most people I've ever seen. It's crazy.
That's not just a terrible impersonation.
Just a reminder, we are not medical professionals. So if you're here for mental health reasons, which I hope you are, actually, that's what we intend to talk about. Mm-hmm. At least 10% of each episode, I would say.
Yeah, very beginning at least.
Reach out to a professional or whatever support network you got in place. So I gave you the pregame speech. The big question, BT, is what does still fucking here mean to you?
So, well, I was an infantryman, and I was in a combat zone for a year. I had several close calls, and I had one big one 2 days before we were leaving. Massive IED, shredded my leg, blew my femoral artery a week later, nearly took my life. And then a couple years later, when I medically retired, it was my own weapon that almost took my life. And but now, by the grace of the universe and great family and friends, I'm still fucking here, and I'm kicking ass, man. Yeah, can't believe how far I've come and what I've been through to get here, but I'm here and I'm rocking and rolling.
We were talking a little bit before the show because you had the phone number I texted you at was a local St. Louis number. Typically that doesn't happen. Yeah. So I'm like, hey man, St. Louis guy? You're like, hell yeah, whole life. But you're getting ready to leave the States here soon.
I am, yeah. For the second time. So this is our second attempt. My wife's from New Zealand. So we tried living there back to kind of during the pandemic. Super expensive though, because everybody was moving back to New Zealand, going home, buying real estate. So now everything's calmed down. Our money's doubled. It's 55 cents Kiwi dollar to $1 American dollar. So real estate's looking really nice. So we got about 9 months left here in St. Louis, and then we're heading out. Wow. Been here about 4 years now.
Kiwis.
Wow. You're not gonna miss it too bad.
No. I would say what an upgrade.
I've got a list of about 2 things that I'm gonna miss, and that's the extent of it. I'm pretty excited, and I'm excited to do that for my wife as well. She was here; she didn't know anybody. I brought her home, so it feels fair to go back and bring her back to her friends and her family, and build a little life out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and if you're nothing else but adaptable, so you'll find some homies and figure it out.
I always do, man. I'm a traveler, man. I'm not good at staying in one place, so like I'm used to kind of starting anew. And then, like you said, it's hard when you're a grown ass man to build that network, but I've had to do it so many times now that it really is just putting yourself out there, and I put myself out there all the time. To try and find my family and my clique, and it works every time. So
hell yeah.
It'll be a little different. I'll say there's some fear with this one, obviously, because it's New Zealand. It's a little bit different. Like, it's a lot easier here in the States. I got a prosthetic leg, I scream military. So like there's that kind of entrance, and when I go there, it's very much the opposite. It's almost like, oh, that's a military, that's a U.S. military. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but I'm a wrestler. I'm a professional wrestler. Been doing it for about 3 years now. So there's a really good promotion out there where we're moving to. So that's kind of going to be my end. That'll be my
You
first.
talking about
end.
like WWE style?
Yeah.
No shit, dude. I did
With
not
a
know that.
prosthetic, or do you
With-
take
with
it
a
off for bouts?
No. I wear my blade for it. Yeah.
They
So-
allow that? I guess New Zealand. I'm over here thinking like WWE would be like, no, you'll kill somebody.
No, well, it's strategic. We make sure we don't hurt each other, but
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a show, but
yeah,
wow,
but
okay.
no, yeah, I use it. I've like nicked some people and stuff with the blade, but there's been no serious injuries. So
Yeah. If you're going against me, wear the shin guards like
Yeah,
like we're
right.
doing soccer.
yeah,
Holy
Dude,
shit! That's crazy.
I followed pro wrestling a little, like back in the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior days, and I'm still familiar
90s.
with everybody that wrestles, but I don't really follow or watch it that much. But when I moved to Orlando, my roommate was huge on it, and he would always watch hockey with me. Now they're a huge hockey family, which is awesome. But and Blues fans, by the way, in Orlando that I created.
yeah.
Go Blues. And so I would just in turn sit in with him and watch some wrestling and shit. And then one day he's like, "Hey man, you should go with us and go to NXT. We can get free tickets. We'll go see NXT." And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" Still just
What's NXT?
NXT is like the feeder for WWE.
Like double A ball checking.
Kind of, and it belongs to WWE. It's like their AAA basically.
Yeah, not the big show. Tracking.
Yeah, so this place that they put on their weekly event happens in this little room that they have, like a warehouse basically, and there's maybe 300 seats, so you're up close.
Yeah.
And dude,
Splash zone.
as somebody that kind of thought, it's not that I thought it was lame, it's just I never really got it. I'm like, you already kind of know what's going to happen. So I had a couple of relatives that used to do like a local St. Louis pro style wrestling. Anyway, after watching it though, I was in love with the idea because so many people give it a bad rap because it's like, they're like, it's fake. Well, it's not attempting to be anything else. What it is, it's theater.
It's
Jock
theater.
It's theater with athleticism.
Yeah.
And it's fucking entertaining as shit if you look at it that way.
I was going to but at the same time, the throwing and the tossing, dude might be jumping, but you're still controlling up to 300 pounds of gentleman on his way to the mat or whatever. Like, there's a lot of, you can fuck it up real bad.
It also just doesn't feel good. Like your back hitting
I was
the
gonna
mat,
say.
it's not fun. You actually have to train to like build up the tolerance in your back so that you get used to it. Like now I can take a bump and everything's good. When I first started, that first 3-4 months was rough. But to kind of piggyback on what you were saying though, it's a live entertainment type deal. TV's cool and all. Like I'll watch your Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, but I'm not watching every week. But when you go live, there's something about that energy, being around other people who are like losing it and stuff. You want to get involved. That's what wrestling is. And the second thing I want to piggyback on it, which I find funny, is like when you're watching Captain America battling a bunch of people, do you think that's real? Like you're being entertained. It's not real. You're there for entertainment. And wrestling works the exact same way.
The production value is different.
Yeah, but you're doing it live. Who is it? Logan? Live. Is it Logan Paul that's in WWE quite a bit?
Yep.
Dude, when he did the leap from the other side of the fucking ring from the other dude and they met in the middle, that is nasty athleticism and skill, dude.
They're not small. It's not a small square. Like how far across are the turnbuckle from turnbuckle to turnbuckle, give or take, on a regulation one?
Like 14. Yeah, but it's
and then bouncing off those sucks too.
That takes some getting used to as well. Yeah,
they're leather and you're not wearing a shirt.
Yeah, and it's steel. Yeah. It's steel underneath the like the rubber. It has it's like steel beam or steel wire, like a rubber hose around it, and then a bunch of tape. I mean, and that's it. You literally when you start running the ropes, you've got bruises, like a line of bruises on your back.
Burns,
burn, yeah. It's building blocks. You got to work your way up to it.
Yeah, what was the like reality show that had the Miz on it? I can't
Yeah.
remember. It was like a you want to be a wrestler thing.
Oh yeah. So Tough Enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough
because
Enough.
I saw
think.
that because there was one where they were all just like, all right, let's see what you got. It was like the combine where they were like, all right, bounce off the rope this many times. All right, flip off the rope this many times. And they were just writing shit down the whole time. I remember, I don't know why that clicked in my brain so hard, but I can see all the people who did it doing this to show the camera. The just freaking the bruises and the rug burn and all the stuff on their ribs from bouncing off the ropes only. Yeah.
I
From
just
being
had
tossed
a match.
around at Marine Corps boot, or whenever we had to do the martial arts program, crap. The whole first belt is learning how to get tossed without getting hurt worse. So the whole first belt is learning how to land. So it's just getting hip tossed for an entire belt. And you're just like, got to land flat on my back. All right, got to land flat on my side. Like,
It sounds very comparable, actually. That's like the first 6 months of wrestling training is just learning how to fall and take those falls and protect yourself with it. But like even last night, so we had a show last night. I just had a match, and I'm fucking hurting today, man. Like it's not like not like we go in there and we're like, yeah, it's cool, and like bounce around a little bit, and then we're done. Like it's a physical.
Tell that to Mick Foley.
Activity.
Like if you think it's fake. Yeah, Mick Foley's been through some stuff.
Yeah, I respect that reference because that's my favorite wrestler of all time. Because that dude is insane.
I prefer Cactus Jack, but
I love Cactus Jack. Early Cactus Jack, that dude was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, here we go.
For listeners, Cactus Jack and Mick Foley are the same dude.
Same dude.
If you don't know.
There was one Royal Rumble where he was 3 different.
And by my count, there are
all
7
3
men remaining in the Royal Rumble match.
Oh, this okay. I haven't seen this. He makes that?
Yeah, watch this shit, dude.
Hi, sir.
I think they do a springboard too.
Yep. Oh goodness, what a collision!
You do that a little wrong, and that's broken faces.
What the hell just happened?
That's knees in the nuts. Like you do that a little wrong. That's impressive.
Not to mention, so what they did to get into that's called a springboard. Jumping on that rope and maintaining your balance and then using the rope to jump off is probably the most dangerous move you can do because there's like
video game shit.
It's millimeters of error. Like it's I would never try that ever.
No, you can't. No,
it's one leg. No.
Okay. It's all about balance and hitting it right.
Yeah.
Ty, do your impression of falling off the rope again.
Huh? Eat a dick. I don't remember what I did. That was a long time ago.
Moved on.
I'm just saying it. I was really thoroughly impressed once I saw it, and I was just like, man, it just gets a bad rap from people that just don't understand or attempt to understand. You know.
And that's all, you don't have to understand. There's so many things people are into that I don't understand at all. But at the end of the day, let people have their shit. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. But yeah, wrestling
I don't understand
specifically seems to have like this focused like hate for it, which just seems weird. But it's actually making a resurgence, which is nice. Wrestling's one of those things that ebbs and flows, and like you have peaks and valleys, and that's just the nature of the game. So it's nice now. It's kind of 90s were I mean, that's just massive. One of the biggest times
Stone
ever.
Cold.
So that was my era.
I'm sure the growth of UFC doesn't hurt WWE. I'm sure it just gets more people interested in combat sports. Essentially, I started watching. I was telling them the other day. I started watching Power Slap, which I don't know if you've watched that at all. Yeah. But Dana White pushes that, it's his whole thing. And I got hooked on it for a week or two where I was just watching. It was in the background for everything. And I'm like, again, when you see a clip, you're like, dude's just slapping each other in the face. There's fucking skill, dude. Other than toughness, you can't slap in the eye. You can't slap in the neck. You can't slap in the ear. It's got to be on the cheek. If you flinch, you get slapped again. You got to keep your feet planted. You can't lift your feet. There's all these rules that are apparently pretty hard to keep up with. So anyway, I kind of started getting into this one fighter, and I reached out to him the other day about being on the podcast. He's like, fuck yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. I'm like, let's go,
Yeah.
dude.
The other
But I
thing
can't
about-
wait to ask him. I was just gonna say, I can't wait to ask him how in the what made you want to get smacked in your fucking face?
Like British Revolutionary War style. Your turn. Like,
Yeah.
okay, your turn. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
That kind
I'm
of
about
ties
that
into,
bob and weave life.
yeah, that ties into what I was about to say, which is that what I like about that is it's very much a mental game, because you're the
Psyching
one
out.
in control. You're on the offense, but if you slap and that dude doesn't show anything, you're like, oh,
Just eats it.
yeah,
Oh,
just
no.
eats it, and then now it's your turn.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, it's got to be terrible, man. And especially it's funny because sometimes they get knocked out, and you never know when you're going to get knocked out. Like all of a sudden the lights just go out, and sometimes they get wobbled and they get Bambi legs, and they're trying to. Right before that, they're looking all tough and shit, and then a second later they're wobbling around like a fucking baby, And then you got to step back in there knowing you just got wobbled the last time.
Yeah,
It's
Total mental fuck.
Yeah, I don't know why it just popped in my head, but it's UFC. The Patty.
Oh
Patty,
yeah, Patty.
I don't. What's his last name? Patty the Batty or whatever it is. The one clip of him, he eats one that I don't understand how anyone survived it without breaking in part of their face. Like he caught one perfect square straight on and just like it was nothing. And I was like, dude, if I was that other guy, I'd have gave up then. I'd be like, I asked people, I was like, yo, I don't watch this a lot. Like, should that have killed him? And they're like, yeah. Like, he shouldn't have walked away from that, let alone carried on to knock him out.
It's funny how much of a mental game all of that is. I mean, I was talking to someone about this. I think might have even been talking about Trump or something along those lines, where like sometimes you need somebody that's like in order to be a great fighter, and sometimes in order to be a great musician, even you got to have a little bit too much of an ego. But because you see these fighters that go on a 15-0 run to start their career, and then they get knocked out once, and now that little bit of doubt's in there,
ruined,
and they're never the same.
I'll say Ronda Rousey didn't seem to bounce back after
No.
the whole kicked in the face thing.
Some do, but not very often. Once you get a little chink in your armor, you're fucked.
Plus,
that took her down quick.
But she was, I mean, and I saw an interview where she was like, "Oh no, the doing wrestling, yes, like the getting actual hit like by someone who means it, or like playing it. It sucks still. It's still hard work, but like, no one's just punching me in the face." And I'm like, I'd jump ship too.
One thing I think that she was an example of is when you go back to, I was also referencing this the other day for some reason, but you go back to old UFC when dudes were fat and out of shape, and they maybe were a wrestler, or maybe were this, or they were taught this. Now, in order to compete, you not only have to be physically in tip-top shape, but you have to be a master of several disciplines. So I feel like women's MMA was a little behind, and I feel like Ronda Rousey was the first one to like be so advanced at all that, but then everyone started to catch up with her, and everybody could fight the way she fought. You know what I mean? So she kind of probably stepped out at about the right time.
Hell, either way, she broke the door down for a lot of people. So
yeah, she was awesome. It was fun to watch.
A lot of fun to watch. Yeah,
and she's into Pokemon. That's hot.
I guess.
I am what I am, and I'm not ashamed.
Squirtle, Squirt, or whatever they say. I don't know how.
Bulbasaur, tighten up.
I wasn't referencing your shelf. I was just referencing Squirtle.
I know.
Because I wanted to say squirt on the podcast. Can I do that?
I don't see why not.
Squirt, squirt, squirt.
If you're doing it right.
So in the little description that I had from you, and said author, filmmaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
let's get into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's start with author because that was first. I was going to school for creative writing, so I got out of the military. And again, I kind of mentioned this when we opened it up, but just really struggled without that camaraderie, without my brothers, and like moved and started college thinking everything was great. There wasn't another veteran in the entire freaking town. There wasn't another combat wounded veteran in the entire university. The nearest VA was an hour and a half away. And every time I went there, I was the youngest guy by 20 years. And I just, it was rough. It was rough. So, at that time, I'm like,
not to interrupt you, but
no.
because I wanted to clarify on this, and I think it's an important part of the story. When you talked about that you almost died from your own gun, that was going to be self-inflicted, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of connect all that to what you're saying now. Yeah. Getting through all that shit led to you getting to that point, which is the story of so many men and women that come back from wartime.
And I was saying you didn't just lose your tribe, but you kind of got dropped in with people who think the exact opposite for the most part.
That's such an important thing for me to have for my mental health is my tribe, people that I relate to and get along with and can just commiserate with. So I had none of that, and at that time I'm like, who am I now? I have no uniform anymore. I have no drive or purpose. I had planned on doing 20 years. What the fuck do I do now? And I was going to school for finance and I hated it. And it was at that point when I'm like, what do you do? You're medically retired from the Army. Why are you not doing what makes you happy? And so I ended up switching to creative writing as a degree, and kind of lucked out into meeting this other author who wanted to write a military romance book. And that was my first book, and it did really well. And I wrote a handful more after that. Kind of moved on from there, but it was a really impactful 4 or 5 year stretch where I was releasing books and going to book signings. It's where I met my wife. That she still does it. She's full-time author, does really well with it. And I met her at a book signing that we were both authors on. And so, that was a really good period of my life. But after that, when kind of what I had transitioned to was the first book did really well, was in Barnes and Noble and stuff. And that was me now, right? So I'm an author now. I found who I am. Every book after that did worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the worse that the books after that did, the worse I felt about myself, because that was my identity at that time. So another hard period. And it got to the point where I knew that this wasn't the future for me, and that I needed to kind of go back to school and figure things out. And that's when I went and changed it to film. So I got my film degree at University of Tampa, and then moved up here to St. Louis and started at Lindenwood to get my master's. I just graduated with my master's last December, and with the end goal here in a couple years to teach film and media students in the future. That's my end goal.
That's awesome.
Holy shit.
So kind of being a part of that environment, I realized how much I love that academic environment, the learning and helping each other creatively. It really nourishes the soul for me. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love that. That we always kind of go back to this point of a lot of people that come home is just purpose. It's just finding your purpose is fucking huge.
Yep.
Massive. Yeah.
Something new to drive you.
Congrats on all that, man. So you were writing romance novels. Was it just chicks lining up to get your autograph?
Oh yeah. I didn't have any male fans. All women. I mean, the first 3 years of that were wild, just completely fucking wild. This isn't a part I like to share either, but I started actually as a romance cover model. So I ended up shooting. I ended up shooting with this guy. Actually, if you freaking Google my name, that's the first shit that pops up, which isn't my favorite thing, but it's a cool part of the journey, you know. And so that's how I linked up with that author, is because I started on the actual covers, and then she had realized that I was in school for writing and had invited me to write with her. So at the beginning, I've been on 110, I think, romance covers. And so a lot of that
Holy shit.
Yeah, man, it's been wild ride. So it was just insane the first couple years.
It's crazy to think about. I always Rogan and several other comics talk about in some of their comedy sets about how crazy it's got to be famous for your ass. You know, girls that are on TikTok or whatever, where it's millions of people following them and liking everything. Your phone's just running away from you on the table and shit every day, every minute of every day. but there had to be some, I guess it's maybe it's not a different mentality, but when you're a dude in that space, clearly, there's a whole bunch of women that are just flicking their bean to your picture or your book.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to be in your head. Like it has to prop up your ego a little or something.
I definitely, yeah. It also got tiring. So I had all the the big the follower numbers and all that, and I actually reached a point at the end of it where I was so disillusioned from all of it that I shut down those accounts one day and was done with it. Because my life at that point, when you're doing that and that's your game, you've got to be on with social media. And I realized every day of my life was like, what can be a post? You know what I mean? And and responding back, and my whole life was dedicated to presenting myself in whatever way I thought I needed to present myself. And I got so sick and tired of it and so disillusioned by it that I needed to get away. And the best thing I ever did, I'm very minimally on Facebook now. It's pretty much centered around wrestling and my family, and that is it. And I just like it much better that way. I hated what it turned into. And a lot of that, it gets creepy as well, like you said.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, it gets really creepy, and a lot of weird.
You had to have a
messages.
few stalkers.
Yeah, stalkers, and it just gets to the point where you're like, is this even worth it? Because it wasn't what I really wanted at the end of the day. It wasn't.
Right.
It was what helped me get through.
People
but
already
it wasn't
want
what
pictures
I
of your nubs anyways.
Yeah, right. I've had those messages too. I'm sure you have. It's
like someone,
weird.
just creeps who want feet specifically. There's a whole subsect of crazies that want pictures of residual limbs.
Yeah.
It's the more scarred, the better. And I was just like, I'm putting on long pants now, even though these short pants are already long pants.
Yeah, it's wild.
Where's the weather?
I don't know. Go inside.
We're gonna order a fresh pizza.
Sure, buddy. I'll order. Go away. Sorry. I gotta order a pizza real quick.
That's just interesting. I mean, even, with me playing music, I have my fair share, of 30 years of being on stages, of my fair share of creeps and stalkers and weirdos and whatever. And it is the whole thing with social media is I've never really gotten to that point where I was looking at likes or interactions as any kind of currency, but I've been around so many people that do, where their life or their job involves it. And it's not watching the road while they drive to look at how many likes they have kind of shit. Where they're so obsessed, and it's come on, man. It's such a yes, it equates to something because especially when you're in the business space, it does mean something, and it can mean money, but it's not really value. You know what I mean? And people will put a value on that, that it. The people that are scrolling through their fucking feed and they hit the like button, that's all they've given you. Mm-hmm. You're not. Then they're liking 50 other things. It's not like they're focused on you and you're the thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, and I got caught up in that. So it happens without you even realizing it, which is what happened to me. Is your feelings get tied to the likes, your feelings get tied to the comments. And the comments, it's never the positive, because it'd be 150 positive and it'd be one negative, and guess what? That negative sticks up in the brain. Or you hit 250 likes on this, and then you do another post and you get 100, and you're like, well, what's wrong with this one? You know what I mean? You're so much is tied up into it that it's not real. It's I had to break free from that, because it just kind of took over my life and became something that just a beast that I hadn't even seen coming. So,
Ty recently, we talked about this on the boardroom episode, but Ty just recently had a TikTok go 30 million viral, dude.
Wow.
He had how many comments? 100,000.
There's 100,000 comments on it in a week. I went from 32,000 followers to 100, and I think I'm at 16 now. All in a week. So I've been doing my best to keep up with the positivity and messages. And I used to get bent out of shape about comments years ago. My ex-wife would take my phone when we were happily married because are you reading comments? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, hand me that. And I'm like, damn it, all right. Because it would absolutely drag me down with them, and I would go in comments just freaking, no, you eat a whole bag of dicks. And, of the 100,000, 90% were positive, and I chose to focus on those. Hell, I deleted a shit ton of the negative ones because most of the negative ones weren't even what we're talking about in the video. Like they were just like, hey, left field, let's bring that up. And you chose to serve. And I was like, no one's talking about that, Chief. Like, there wasn't a draft. I'm like, I know that. No one's talking about that, Chief.
keep up, buddy. Keep up.
Yeah. Where would I earn? Yes. One dude. Oh, sorry. This is what I'm dealing with now. Some dude felt a need to start talking about my service or the country having lied to me on a video of me and the kids. I'm like, and he was just like, so you really think this, you ever think that your country lied to you? And I'm like, did you ever think it was appropriate to have this conversation on a video of my children? And good deflection, bro. And I'm like, I don't know what you need, but you're coming to my yard to take a piss, and I'm not doing this on this video, bro. Like, that was all I was saying, was like, go anywhere else. Ask this question on one that doesn't have my children in it, and we can try to talk about it. But he's acting like I owe him something. I'm like, bitch, I already gave you enough. Get the fuck out of my face.
Dude, people are just cunts.
Yeah, I was like, why do you wake up and think I'm going to go shit on that person's life? Like, what would you hope to accomplish with that? Me be like, you're right, my life was a lie. And at 20 years old, my body got destroyed for literally no reason. Like, eat a dick, bro. Like, why would you want to drag someone down like that? Like, even if I was, star-spangled crazy and we were way worse off than we are and all that stuff, like, why would you want to just ruin someone's whole worldview in life? You're a whole piece of shit.
Unhappy people, yeah. And sadly, that's how I look at it now. It's just like, you got some problems, man, and I hope you get the help you need, but it ain't my business. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to come talk to me, come talk to me. I'll beat you with a leg if we need to go that far. But like, come on, I'm tougher than you think I am. Let's fucking go.
By the way, YouTube, I did say cunt, but BT is almost a New Zealander, so it's okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but Kiwis, New Zealanders say it all the time. All the time.
They even say it as an endearing term, dude.
No, I would say Aussies and. Both of them.
Not a hard T.
We talk about that sometimes.
If there's not a hard T at the end, it means you're a good dude. If there's a hard T at the end, well, they don't like.
Well, it's been a great podcast, you cunts.
Yeah, cunts.
Good cunt.
I like that.
Have you locked down a nice New Zealander accent by now?
Oh God, no. It's terrible. I come somewhere in between Australian and English. Yeah, I try all the time to piss my wife off.
That's kind of what Australian ends up being anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone hears.
Dude, my daughter's on one right now. Whatever.
Are you from
England?
Are you from South Africa? Are you from? It's everywhere but New Zealand. She's like, no, it's New Zealand. Yeah. Sorry.
It sounds like
you're an idiot.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I mean, you get someone to understand New Zealand right off the bat would be nice. Like,
oh yeah,
like, oh my God, Nicole Kidman. Be like, yeah. Yeah. Wait,
my 16-year-old does a fucking phenomenal Australian accent, and I was like, dude, that's amazing. And he goes,
solid work.
All you do is put an English accent with a redneck, and I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Actually,
what Australia is, the Brits put all their prisoners there, and then they just stay there.
Yeah. And Kiwi is New Zealand accent's like
Tasmania is the Alabama.
It really is too.
It's what?
They're more redneck than rednecks. They walk around grocery stores in bare feet and shit. Did I drop off?
Yes. I like that.
Yeah, just for a split second, but you're good.
Oh,
we just missed what the end of that. You said they something, and then
we missed the punchline.
Oh yeah, I was saying they're more redneck than redneck. They walk around grocery stores in their bare feet and stuff. It's wild, shirtless and stuff. They're like, yeah, it's all good. Grab some food.
Yeah, but that would do.
That's my kind of people. I like it.
I'm not mad at all. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're not rubbing your feet on things that are on the shelves, I don't see why it
Yeah,
matters.
then you're not living, man.
I was gonna say, well, no,
You got to rub your feet on everything. It's an enjoyable
no, I meant don't do
time,
that.
man.
I meant don't do that. Be barefooted as long as you aren't.
I only have snacks when people rub their feet on them first.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Better. I don't know what it is.
What was the
You get-
Hedberg where
you
he's
get
like,
some of that foot gunk on there.
Toe jam.
what was Hedberg?
Oh.
Hedberg's like, you know those snack dispensers? I only like my snacks when they fall. It's something
It's about
something
vending
like that.
machines. I
Yeah.
said, that tree is far away.
That's crazy. So getting back into the story,
Yeah.
when you transition back to civilian life, we have this common thing of losing the brotherhood, the purpose, so on and so forth, and obviously that spiraled down for you to the point that you almost took your own life. Was it gradual coming out of that, or was it kind of a wake up moment that you were just like, holy fuck?
So yeah, I mean, it started when I went to WVU, West Virginia University, right after the Army. I wanted to go somewhere new that was kind of in between. I was at Walter Reed, so I wanted to be somewhere in between Walter Reed and my home in St. Louis. Picked a random school. Was really excited about it, and then I got there and I was lonelier than I've ever been in my life. So naturally, I joined a fraternity because why not? I wanted that camaraderie, and that was the only thing that was there. And obviously, joining a fraternity when you're starting to deal with some alcohol and weed issues becomes a big problem. And so that I was getting in fights, all the time. I was getting wasted. I mean, my life was going to hell. Terrible grades. I think I might have dropped off again.
You did for a split second. It'll be fine on the end cut, what everybody will see.
Okay.
By the way, I'm just going to tell you now, even though I could have told you after the show, just so you know, when you're done, you'll have to leave the app open, or leave it on your phone to upload the rest of your thing. It'll tell you when it's complete because you're at 40% right now.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. I was going to ask about. I was waiting for the end, but I was like, what are these percentages that keep changing?
What it does, this app's really great. It's for podcasts, especially for podcasts, but essentially it uploads. Everyone sends their file directly to me, so I get your file directly from you. So how you've kind of dropped out a couple times, that won't be there. Your clarity will be perfect. Everything will be a perfect file. Then I can edit them all individually and stuff. So it's a really cool app, but that is the downside is you got to leave it open to upload your end.
Okay, that makes sense.
Too easy.
So jump back into it.
Okay.
So I got at the end of that year, I'm like, I got to get out of here. Like I'm 27 years old. I don't need to be doing this shit. So I moved to Florida, and when I moved to Florida, I was seeing a girl. I was in love with the girl. That broke down, and then I was again in a new place and felt very isolated. And that was kind of the bottom of the barrel for me, where I actually started planning it. My mind started telling myself that, because I lost my buddy in the IED attack. My mind started telling myself that it was supposed to be me and not him for whatever reason. And so I was going to do the job that was supposed to be done on October 22nd, 2012 is when I had planned it. The good thing is I didn't really want to die. And so I never stopped fighting, and I never stopped trying to get help. I ended up finding this organization called Camaraderie Foundation. And they do 100% counseling outside of the VA system, free of charge for veterans. And it was a new kind of cutting edge therapy, and it changed my life. That got me far enough out of the bottom, to where I could kind of keep going and keep fighting. It just got me out just enough to continue forward. But it was bad for a while there, honestly, up until I met my wife, if I'm being realistic, but it was a very gradual healing journey. A lot of that has to do with vet sports. I started a 501c3 nonprofit right around that same time to help, because pretty much the issue I ran into was I entered the community and I knew no one. And I didn't know how, you can go to American Legion, but they're all 60, they're older, they're just drinking. I wanted to be a part of something in the community with other veterans that was more active. And so Vet Sports started with that idea of being a group within communities where you play sports weekly, you help out the community. So a big part of it is community service. And so I started one of the first chapters down in Tampa. It's still going strong, helping a ton of veterans, a bunch of different states. I don't have a leadership role there anymore because I kind of moved forward with my life and let those that are better at doing that kind of stuff do it. But that was kind of the real big transition period for me because I was helping other people. And by helping other people, I was helping myself. And not only that, but I was building my tribe in Tampa. And I had friends that I could turn to. I had people I could commiserate with. I was playing sports on a weekly basis. You have that teamwork and that camaraderie. And then I'm helping with the community service side of it, where we're building homes for Habitat for Humanity. We're building cat shelters for the Humane Society. You know, we're actually doing these real tangible things that are making a difference. And that just slowly kind of brought me out of it. And then a couple years after that is when I got the photographer hit me up to do the photo shoot. And then the book covers came after that. And then the books came after that. And kind of, I didn't have, like, life didn't slow down enough for me to, like, be in that beating myself up process that I had been in for so long. And it just kind of evolved from there. You know, I hit 30 and a lot of my mental, my thinking and thought patterns kind of started changing. I started, like, really focusing on what matters in life and what doesn't. And, you know, it just got out of it, man. It was a very long process, but I kept driving on.
Yeah, it's as a person who still live in the dark. I live in the dark a lot, man. Like, I still suffer from pretty debilitating depression, and I've seen some improvement in the last year since starting this podcast, because it's kind of the reason I started it again. Sort of like reflecting what you said. In order to make myself feel better, selfishly, I want to try to help other people. And put these stories out there and let hopefully other people can relate and feel a little less alone through the process, you know, because I can remember at my darkest points when I haven't been in the suicidal headspace for quite some time. It'll crawl in a little bit, but nothing like it used to be. But when I was in that space, it's the same shit. It was so isolated and alone that you felt like no one could understand, that talking to anyone wasn't helpful, that, you know what I mean? Like it was so, and even those people that I felt like I might have had in my life seemed to disappear when I was at my lowest parts. Yeah. Where it's all too much for them, and now they check out, and now you have even less. It's fucking rough, man. And I know other people suffer through that. And again, that's why we started the show. But, like, hearing your story is helpful for me and hopefully for other people to believe that, to have that, even if it's a shred of hope. Because hope is fucking rare as fuck when you're in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you kind of touched on it, but it never goes away. You know what I mean? It never, you never heal. You never heal completely from it. You just find ways to navigate it. I still wake up. Most days I wake up with a cloud above my head. Most days I wake up and I'm like, fuck, another day. But I've figured out who I am enough at this point where I know how I think. I know how I process shit, and I know it helps. And so I'm living this life as best I can, and I'm trying to navigate through my depression, anxiety, and PTSD that are still very much there. It's just I have better tools now to mitigate it when it's going on. I got a great wife who I communicate all the time with, and it's one step at a time, man. One step at a time, and understanding that you're not going to get rid of this thing. It's filling up your toolbox to be able to handle it as it comes to you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, it's just being able to stand back and look at that, you know, being in situations where in the last year, I can remember times when I started to get real dark about something, and I was able to step outside of that and go, that's just that thing in my brain. It's not real, and not let it pull me down. You know what I mean? Like, I still it was a rough day, but you know what I mean? I didn't spiral as much as I did in the past.
Yeah.
And those little things of being able to just go, hey, like, whether it's chemical, whether it's something in your experience, whatever the fuck thing or maybe your DNA. I mean, they don't really know a lot about depression, honestly. And having said all that, like, if you can just step outside of it for a second when it's at its worst and just go, that's just that fucking thing, dude. You don't have to feel every bit of it.
Yeah.
I won't let this motherfucker win. Not today, not tomorrow, neither. So yours wasn't a failed attempt as much as you had a plan, but then you life was like, nah, we're going to show you all the awesome reasons why you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, thank God it never had gotten to that point. I had a really bad childhood though, and I actually had attempted, and I survived an attempt when I was already on a sec. Oop. Just a second. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
You dropped off
Give
when
me
you
1
told us
second.
how
I
old
gotta
you
get
were.
my other headphones.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Is this gonna mess you
Headphones
guys up?
dying.
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
my shit.
Not at all.
Okay.
You can cut this part out
Give
if
me 1
necessary.
sec.
Yeah, you're good.
No, I like the authenticity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, the underside of that shelf is so clean.
You clearly dust.
Woohoo! No, I would say we say that shit all the time about the trauma doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You just get better at carrying it. And your toolbox, you get better tricks.
It's
Like,
hard. It's
that
hard
whole
when
thing
you're.
was good.
It's hard when you're in that space, though. You know, like it's hard
Yeah.
to.
I
It's
wish I
hard to
could.
see that or even care
never mind.
about that.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't wish I knew how to
Right.
relate to that, but I'm sorry that I can't. If that helps, I don't like. I'm
Well,
glad.
look, man,
I'm
it's-
glad I haven't. I'm glad because with how I am with other things, I would dwell and overthink, and it would become a very big problem. So I think that's what my brain knows about me is like, let's just let's laugh at the notion and never pretend it's an option because he'll start thinking about that a lot.
Well, we go
hyper-focused.
through this experience though, especially being on this podcast together, where I'm not a veteran, but I can relate so much to many things that I've experienced through you guys, through the people that I've talked to.
Yeah.
I'm not an amputee, but I can relate to what your troubles are and what struggles you go through with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and I don't think for any reason when you say that you're like, I get it, bro. I get it. And like, because some people be like, what the fuck would you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. When people are trying to empathize with you, maybe just calm the fuck down
Yeah.
and let them, like, if they're trying, that's literally step one. Like, we like that. That's good. Let them do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
people do take shit just in general life way too fucking seriously in a sense. I mean,
That's what I brought that back up. I have used what is a quote from Van Wilder since Van Wilder, but the "you can't take life too seriously, you'll never get out alive" is a tattoo. Like that is a way of life. Like, calm down, it's fine. You're not going to survive this game anyways, so
Yeah.
calm down.
you know, Van Wilder is based on Bert Kreischer.
I don't need. I've heard that.
It's fucking crazy.
I was gonna say they didn't not off the look, but yes, was inspired by was inspired by or whatever.
That's a guy that I used to like when he came up, but I can't stand him anymore.
I can't watch one of his specials. I like a couple of the clips from whatever their podcast is called.
Two Bears something.
Two Bears About a Cave or whatever.
Two Bears, One Cave.
There we go.
I like Tom Segura. I just don't care for Bert. He sucks. He's a name dropping, talking about how wealthy he is and the cool shit he's got and the cool people he hung out with. Like, Bert, you became the unrelatable famous guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you used to be everybody's fucking party friend, and now you're this fucking guy that everyone hates.
The Kool-Aid clip still cracks me up, but other than that, yeah, I'm good. We're like, what are you drinking? That's Kool-Aid. And they both lose it because he's got like a liter thing of Kool-Aid.
Yes.
He's
that
just drinking
was
red
hilarious. And he's just like, what?
Yeah, Tom can't handle it. Tom's like, what are you talking about? He gets
You're
a
just
cup and
drinking
pours it because he thinks
Kool-Aid?
he's fucking with him. Like, it's like, it's so much sugar. Like, Tom can't get his shit together. Like, he about falls out the chair.
He's like,
so
you are
dumbfounded that he...
You're a 43-year-old man drinking goddamn
he's
Kool-Aid in the morning.
Yeah, he drinks these big, huge metal things of red Kool-Aid a day, apparently. I'm like, God, kidney stones, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm seeing if I can find this.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Two Bears with a Cave Kool-Aid clip. It'll probably pop up.
Yep, there it is.
Fly ball to left center field.
Oh, that was so classic, dude. We can't play it again.
No, we
possibly
can't.
play it again.
I don't know why it comes up every time because this is the mental space where I've thought about it only. I don't think about that fucking clip anywhere else. We won't show the clip, but while he's finding that, I'll explain it to you so you're not lost. But the Cincinnati Reds announcer man was hot mic'd and ended up saying, quote, "It's the fag capital of the world."
Oh, yeah.
And on the hot mic.
Did you hear that or see it?
I did.
Yeah, and he starts apologizing in like the 5th inning. He's like, "I'm fired and I'm leaving, and I'm so very super duper sorry. Hi, fly ball to left center field." Like, and it gets back to what was the guy's name? You always remember the player's name.
Castellano.
But yeah, he says the play does his job, and then is like, "But again, the sorry is so sorry." And I'm just like, oh yeah. I would say I don't know if that could have been more disingenuous.
Yeah.
Castellanos rips one to left. I'm a family man.
Yeah, ask anybody, they'll tell you.
So funny.
Yeah, you're not announcing anywhere else, bro. Sorry. He's like, I don't know if it'll be for this organization or another. And like, probably none. Like, anyone heard you say that is like, what?
At some point, he popped back up, I think, with Joe List, the comedian, was hiring him to do some shit or trying to get him to do some shit with him. Because Joe List will go to like minor league baseball games and sit in the stands.
I was like, what would he do for that
record the game and say a bunch of fucked up shit. Like, they're really funny.
Oh, okay. All
right. This is the let's see if this is it.
That's me trying to do my fingers crossed.
Kool-Aid.
Okay. What's that?
It's a video clip.
The Kool-Aid. You're drinking Kool-Aid to start your day? Really?
It's so good.
What kind?
Red. Kool-Aid is fucking awesome. It really is awesome. It's so good. Pour a little something for yourself. It's watered down. It's not too bad.
You really drinking
Ice
Kool-Aid?
cold. It's ice cold. Yeah.
It's nice and cold.
You are drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Drinking a fucking 64 ounce.
On paper, it's the stupidest thing ever, but the execution is just...
It's that laugh that gets me every time. So much sugar.
My head hurts. You know that? People walk around and they're like, good for that guy. He drinks a lot of water. Kool-Aid. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh. That's so much Kool-Aid. That's half a gallon of Kool-Aid. You're like, I'm getting my day started.
I'm sweating right now. Oh. I'm soaking fucking wet.
Crying. His whole face is wet.
That's the hardest I've ever seen you laugh.
It's the hardest I've laughed. Okay, hold on.
It's pretty good. It's not that. It's good, right? It's good.
You should drink 64 ounces. You gotta drink 2 of them.
I gotta drink 2 every day. Oh my god, I'm crying and sweating right now.
I need to lay down.
Your eyes are so bloodshot right now.
I love it.
All right, it's daylight savings, bud.
I'm gonna be.
God bless, Bert.
Get away from the mic a little.
There's another adult man in the country that has a fucking gallon of Kool-Aid.
Jesus.
There's so much Kool-Aid.
Oh, you're crying.
It's one of those your abs hurt tomorrow about it.
I'm so
Oh no, I hurt my ribs.
Good thing I'm hydrated. It really is good.
I cannot handle this.
People in the background falling over too.
Holy shit, dude.
That's what I'm saying. On paper, that's a stupid ass skit. But it was natural, and they both fucking lost.
That is wild.
I love that. Whenever that's the best one, when your ribs are killing and you try to calm down, and then you both lose it again over nothing. Like,
Dude, imagine, like it's one of those things that just has to happen where you laugh that hard. Not you can't. Imagine if you could plan that. Imagine if you could do that like once a day, three times a week.
Man, he would have never made plans. Like, you'd be having a lot less ideologies.
For sure,
I would
dude.
say one a day of those, I feel real good just watching it and laughing about them laughing. I feel so good. I got a nice feeling right here now. Like, so yeah, if you could plan it, or like if whatever you knew made you do that, yeah, do that every day. Endorphin dump.
You ever get that kind of laugh when you're not supposed to have that kind of laugh, which makes you laugh even harder?
Almost exclusively.
That's the worst.
That's usually when the knockdown drag out laughs happen at church or
Yes.
court.
Or like a
somewhere where
really important speaker. Like I have the funniest friends, and they'll be sitting there bullshitting with me while like somebody important is talking, and I'm just like, stop! Like I'm
Shut up.
dying.
Shut up! That's the 17th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
Oh no, quit it! They're gonna see me. Look how many teeth I have. You have a stupid little smile. You're setting me up for failure.
Yeah.
I'm a damn lighthouse in the middle of stuff.
Well, and I'm the type when I'm trying to hold it, like my throat makes some weird loud. Yeah. And it's louder than the laugh would have been. It's like
Yeah. Dude, yeah,
Start
that
making-
sucks so bad. It's great. Like, it's because you probably wouldn't have laughed that hard if you weren't in that situation. So it's good that you get to that gut laugh. But man, it stinks when you're trying
But they're
not
trying
to.
to bruise a rib because you're wearing a wool turtleneck and someone super important is talking, and they don't like it when you smile for your ID pictures. So like, I'm over here like, oh no, my ribs are gonna get bruised today.
Yeah.
Because I'm not dealing with this tomorrow.
So funny.
Cutting it up during the speech.
Well, BT, you have a fucking real interesting life, man.
Holy hell, yeah!
Some
You got
wild,
some
too.
Dos Equis Renaissance man stuff going on for sure. I would say you absolutely should have made him list all that out.
Right.
Former soldier, wounded veteran, former romance novel cover model, former romance novel writer or author. Sorry, is the right word.
Well, we're
Current
out of time for
professional
today,
wrestler.
I think we're trying to push me further away from suicidal thoughts. I don't think we're trying to push me into it.
I can't do 9 awesome things one after another myself. So here you are, just being rad. As soon as one dries up, you make your decision. You move on and do the next big awesome thing.
That's the one right there.
You're like,
got
hey, this
next
5th or 6th
challenge.
book ain't doing it, and it's making me kind of want to make plans. Like October 12th is not the day that I need it to be. So I'm going back to school to learn some other shit. I like your
Straight
style.
up, when I'm challenging myself, when the challenge is in front of me, that's when I'm really living. Like, that's when I feel fully alive. When I'm being tested and I have to overcome stuff, that's it. I love it. And so it does fall into that where I do something and I do it and I do it and I do it. And then I'm like, all right, what's next? Like I need something else to fill that competitive kind of spirit that I have.
It sounds that like it could be great and also terrible. You know what I mean? Where it's hard to
find the next thing,
right? Where you don't want to settle in. So like you clearly just have a nomadic spirit, basically. Like where in general, I can relate to that.
The needing to travel is this. It's the same thing with your general life stuff too. Like, I can't keep doing this all day every day.
The good thing is I'm interested in a lot of random shit. So like I already know what I'm going to do next. Like I've known for a while now, and that's acting. I love acting. I love the challenge that it brings. And so like community theater, like I'm going to start doing plays and stuff. It was like the thing I always wanted to do as a kid, but it was like the uncool thing to do. So I never did it. And so I just have always had that desire. And like I already know once wrestling kind of dies out, my body's like, we're done here. That's what I'll go into for my next challenge. And so like, I think it's just having a lot of interests and always wanting to pursue those interests and to see where they take me is really it.
I love that. I love that the Army and getting a leg shredded off and popping a femoral artery wasn't when your body was all done. You're just like, oh no, I'm going to go put on a peg leg and let another oiled up gentleman toss me around a lot.
Yep.
Like, You're a special brand of human being. That's for damn sure.
It has been, outside of my family, the best thing I have ever done. And a lot of it is because I dreamed of it when I was a kid. So I was a big time fan when I was a kid. Same thing, Hulk Hogan, Warrior. And I kind of died off at 14, got too cool for it and stuff. But when I was a kid, if you asked me what I wanted to do, it was professional wrestler. And it had gotten to the point, I've tried a couple times, tried a couple schools, didn't really like it. I got caught up with the book stuff in school. And then I ended up moving here to Wentzville, and there's a school, Harley Race Wrestling Academy, that ended up being 10 minutes down the road. And I was like, fuck, I'm 36 years old. I'm in good shape. I'm athletic, but I'm running out of time. So,
and you like to act, which
it's part
goes hand in hand.
100%. 100%. It's a performance.
Wow. That's fucking great, dude. I'm happy for you. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm just taking it as it comes.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Approaching, we're at an hour. Do you have any saved rounds? Is there anything that you hoped to get into before we start the closing out of everything?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I would say, was there anything that you hoped we would touch on or elaborate on more, or something you wanted to get off your chest? Any saved rounds?
No, I don't think so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys got anything to ask, I'm down to.
I was going to, plugging. We're going to get plugging. You got to tell us book titles. You got to tell us websites. You got to tell us how to support you, and if there's any upcoming things we can help push through here and on social media, please let us know.
For sure. You want me to do that now? So I can do that now?
Yeah, I would say. What are the titles?
Yeah, so BTUrruela.com is kind of where you can find a little bit of everything that I do. So it's just my name.com. And Blade Linux is my wrestling name. So I've got an Instagram and Facebook, so you can check that out. Book titles, the one, I got a bunch of books out, but the ones I would lead people to is my first one. It's called The Lover's Lament. It's a military romance. And then my wife and I actually wrote one, which is it was like my baby. I wrote it as a screenplay first, and then she adapted it into a book. It's called Hush. And it's pretty much about this girl who was abducted, and she was held captive for 10 years, and then she escapes, and she doesn't know how to make sense of how she's feeling. So she starts picking dudes off of the pedophile list and starts killing them in more and more depraved ways. Which has always been it was an idea in my brain for a long time. That's a book I took everybody to because it's more my speed. I like the really dark shit. Especially when people who deserve to pay are paying, it makes it that much better. So yeah, Hush, if you want to check that out. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Hell yeah. I would say we're gonna have you on after you get settled in New Zealand for a part 2.
For sure, yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tell us how the move went.
I will.
I just want to see if after some time down there, if you start to kind of pick up a little bit of that twang,
Yeah.
start getting a little of that in your voice.
Shoot.
Get all
Being around the
proper, man.
missus.
Yeah. You won't even recognize me, man. It'll be like, who is this guy? He's classy.
Yeah. Yeah. You gonna get fancy.
Maybe we could get him to narrate our documentary.
Yeah. After I pick up the accent, yeah.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, thank
All
you
right,
so
hit it.
much for coming on, Ty. Thank you, of course. Good episode. It was a good time. Thank you
Hell
guys
yeah.
for listening, tuning in, and all that good shit.
Most interesting
Like, share,
man
subscribe, word of mouth. Really important. They do a lot for us. Just in a second. That's the funny part is that we're talking about how, you know, people use likes as currency, while at the same time I'm asking people.
Right.
It's a simple fucking gesture to click the damn like button, and it makes a big difference. You know what I mean?
Can I get some likes, please? Can I get one more of them? You got any more of them likes?
Joe Rogan. Can I get some Red Bull? Got any Red Bull?
Tyrone.
Genius
Carry
level
on.
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Greatest sketch comedy show of all time. Hands down. Dude's still knocking it out of the park, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. BT, we're glad you're still fucking here.
Ditto.
And for all of you guys watching, we're glad you're still fucking here as well.
Hey, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Sign.